Let's go Dolphins! Monday started off busy and happy behind the scenes for the Miami Dolphins. After the Denver Broncos lost to the Bengals and our win over the Browns, our hopes of making the playoffs remain alive. I have a few important points to make with you today, but before I go any further, make sure you've already hit the like button if you're a true Miami Dolphins fan and believe we'll make the playoffs. If possible, write this: Go Dolphins! I believe. The Miami Dolphins kept their playoff hopes alive with a commanding 20-3 victory, demonstrating determination and resilience. Despite an uneven season, this victory brings renewed optimism as the Dolphins find themselves back at .500 with an 8-8 record. But the road has not been smooth, and even now, questions linger about their consistency and future. Tyler Huntley emerged as the standout performer, completing an efficient 22 of 26 passes for 225 yards and a touchdown. His 115.5 passer rating underscores his growing command of the offense. He wasn't just sharp through the air. Huntley also led the rushing attack with 7 carries for 52 yards, including a nice rushing touchdown. His performance demonstrated his adaptability and the value of his growing familiarity with the team's system. Fans couldn't have asked for a better showing from a player who has taken on a critical role. In the receiving core, Tyreek Hill was his usual explosive self, racking up 9 catches for 105 yards. Meanwhile, Jonnu added a key touchdown, and Malik Washington contributed with 41 yards on 4 receptions. The offensive line, however, left much to be desired. Struggles in the run game were evident, with Devin Achane managing just 25 yards on 10 carries. Robert Jones had a particularly tough outing, and questions about the line's ability to hold up against tougher opponents persist. Defensively, the Dolphins were impressive. They limited the Cleveland Browns to just 3 points, with Terrell Dawson and Jordan Brooks leading the charge. Dawson notched an interception, and the duo's tackling and playmaking were pivotal. Emmanuel Ogbah recorded the team's only sack, and while fans may have hoped for more pressure, the defense effectively shut down the Browns' offense, keeping them to 276 total yards. Special teams also contributed, with Jason Sanders converting 2 crucial field goals. Penalties were a glaring issue, with 11 infractions costing the Dolphins 94 yards. These lapses disrupted drives and highlighted a lack of discipline that could prove costly in tighter games. Head coach Mike McDaniel faced criticism for his play calling and challenge decisions, which left many scratching their heads. The 4th and inches play, where the ball was thrown backward to Jeff Wilson Jr. instead of attempting a quarterback sneak, epitomized the questionable choices that have dogged the team. Terron Armstead's health is another pressing concern. The veteran left tackle's knee issues have raised speculation about his potential retirement after the season. His absence would leave a significant void on the offensive line, both in terms of talent and leadership. This, coupled with McDaniel's struggles to balance his responsibilities as a play caller and head coach, underscores the challenges facing the Dolphins as they aim to build a more cohesive and competitive squad. As things stand, the Dolphins' playoff hopes depend on a win next week against the New York Jets and a Denver Broncos loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. While the Chiefs are fighting for playoff seeding, their decision to potentially rest starters could tilt the odds in Denver's favor. It's a scenario that leaves fans both hopeful and apprehensive. Even if the Dolphins make the playoffs, a potential matchup against the Buffalo Bills looms large, and the prospect of facing one of the league's elite teams in hostile territory is daunting. It also raises broader questions about the team's direction. Would sneaking into the playoffs justify retaining the current regime? Or does this season's inconsistency warrant a reevaluation of the coaching staff and front office? For now, Dolphins fans can celebrate a crucial victory and dream of what might be. The team showed flashes of brilliance, particularly on defense and in Huntley's performance. But the path ahead is fraught with challenges, and whether this group can rise to the occasion remains uncertain. What do you think, Dolphins fans? Can this team overcome its struggles and make a deep playoff run? Or is this season a reminder of the work still needed to turn Miami into a true contender? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The next step for the Miami Dolphins is clear: handle business against the New York Jets and keep the playoff dream alive. While the Jets have had their own struggles, including a rough loss to the Buffalo Bills, they remain a dangerous team. Their defense, in particular, could pose significant challenges, and any lapses in discipline or execution by the Dolphins could open the door for an upset. The game plan for Miami should focus on cleaning up their inconsistencies. Penalties and missed opportunities plagued the team against Cleveland, and a more disciplined approach is essential against a Jets team hungry to play spoiler. Tyler Huntley's continued growth in the system will be key, and the offensive line must find a way to offer him better protection and open up lanes for the running game. If Tyreek Hill can continue his electrifying form and Huntley maintains his poise, Miami has the tools to take control early and put the Jets on their heels. Defensively, Miami's performance against the Browns was a blueprint for success. Shutting down the run game and forcing the Jets into third and long situations will be critical. Players like Terrell Dawson and Jordan Brooks need to replicate their high-energy, playmaking efforts to keep the Jets' offense in check. Getting after the quarterback is another area where the Dolphins can improve. While Emmanuel Ogbah's sack was crucial, more pressure from the defensive line is needed to dominate opponents in critical moments. Off the field, the stakes are equally high. A win combined with a Broncos loss would catapult the Dolphins into the postseason, a feat that seemed improbable just weeks ago. But with playoff contention comes scrutiny. This season has exposed cracks in Miami's foundation, from coaching decisions to roster depth. Whether those cracks can be patched over the next few weeks or require a complete offseason overhaul will depend largely on what happens in the final game and, potentially, the playoffs. One lingering storyline that fans are watching closely is the status of Terron Armstead. His leadership on and off the field has been invaluable, and his absence would be a significant blow to a team already struggling with consistency on the offensive line. The potential loss of such a key player underscores the importance of developing depth across the roster, something the Dolphins will need to address regardless of this season's outcome. Another critical conversation surrounds head coach Mike McDaniel. While his offensive schemes have shown promise, his in-game decision-making has drawn criticism. The challenge success rate of 4 for 18, along with questionable play calls in key moments, has left fans and analysts questioning whether McDaniel can grow into the role of a top-tier head coach. If Miami does make the playoffs, it will be an opportunity for McDaniel to prove his doubters wrong and show he can thrive under pressure. For fans, the anticipation is bittersweet. On one hand, the prospect of playoff football is exciting. On the other, the uncertainty about the team's ability to compete at the highest level tempers expectations. Can Miami rise to the occasion and deliver a statement performance against the Jets? And if they do, will it be enough to carry momentum into a potential playoff matchup against the Buffalo Bills or another AFC powerhouse? This week will be a test not only for the players, but for the organization as a whole. The Dolphins have a chance to show that they can adapt, grow, and overcome adversity. Whether that leads to a playoff berth or simply sets the stage for a stronger 2024 season remains to be seen. So, Dolphins fans, it's time to weigh in. Do you believe this team has what it takes to finish strong and make some noise in the postseason? Or are you more focused on the long-term picture, hoping for structural changes to elevate Miami to true contender status? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going as we gear up for what promises to be an intense and pivotal final week of the regular season. And that's where we stand, Dolphins fans, on the edge of possibility. This season has been a wild ride, filled with moments of brilliance and frustrations we couldn't ignore. Now, it all comes down to one game. The team has fought to stay alive, and the dream of postseason football is still within reach. But beyond the stats, the wins, and the losses, this is about heart, discipline, and the will to rise above challenges. So, what do you think? Will this Dolphins squad show us something special next week? Are we on the verge of a breakthrough moment, or simply wrapping up a season that leaves us wanting more? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about what's next. Until then, fins up, and we'll see you after what's sure to be an unforgettable showdown.